Let me take you back to the 1630s and what we now know as the Dutch Republic, a time of incredible prosperity, but also one of history's most bizarre financial bubbles. Tulip Mania. You've probably heard the story how tulips became so valuable that people started trading them for the prices of houses, and how that led to a massive crash. But how much of that is actually true? Well, it did happen. In the early 1600s, tulips were a new and exotic flower in Europe, having been brought to the Netherlands from the Ottoman Empire. They became incredibly fashionable, especially among the wealthy. Their vivid colors and elegant shapes made them a symbol of status, but soon, tulips weren't just a flower, they were an investment. By 1636, the market for tulips had gone absolutely wild. People began trading tulip bulbs in what we would now recognize as a speculative frenzy. Some tulip bulbs, particularly rare varieties like the Semper Augustus, were sold for incredible amounts. For example, a single bulb could cost as much as an entire house. And it wasn't just the rich. People from all walks of life, farmers, artisans, merchants, joined in buying and selling bulbs, often without even seeing the flowers themselves. But here's the thing that gets interesting. It wasn't just the bulbs that were being traded. People started speculating in what were called tulip futures. Essentially contracts promising to buy the bulbs at a set price, sometimes before they were even planted. And when you're buying and selling contracts for something that doesn't even exist yet, it's clear the market was driven more by excitement and speculation than by the actual value of the flowers. Then, in February of 1637, the bubble burst. It was sudden. One day, people began refusing to buy tulip futures at the previously inflated prices, and within days, prices plummeted. The crash wasn't as devastating as some myths suggest, but for many investors, especially those who had gone all in, the losses were crushing. Some were left bankrupt, others with worthless contracts. Now, historians argue that the overall economic impact of the tulip mania wasn't as disastrous as people often think. The Dutch economy didn't collapse, and the tulip market was still a small part of it. But tulip mania remains important because it was one of the first recorded examples of a speculative bubble, where prices were driven by emotional and irrational behavior rather than underlying value. So did people really ruin their lives over flowers? Well, yeah, some did, but it also serves as a reminder of the dangers of over-speculation and how sometimes people's collective excitement can drive markets to extraordinary and unsustainable heights.